let's tune into that breath, taking a few deeper inhales and longer exhales. And then all that attention that might have been to the outside, bring it to the inside and use your breath to channel that attention, to catch that attention. The sound of your breath, the sensations of that breath in the body. Notice what moves as you breathe in, what moves as you breathe out. And take these first moments to explore that breath. Don't get rigid with it. So allow some inhales to be deeper, some to be a bit shallow. Same thing with your exhales, some a bit longer, some shorter, some through the mouth, some through the nose, some louder than others. So just taking a few moments here to explore. And then eventually, if it's available, see if you can breathe a bit more through the nose than through the mouth. And then see if you can begin to make your inhales more or less the same length as your exhales. And some people like to count here to see if that length is more or less similar. So if that's helpful for you, you could add a count. But if you feel that counting makes you a bit more anxious and kind of triggers a bit more competition, something like that, then feel free to let go of the count and just feel the length of those inhales and exhales and getting more or less similar. We're going to stay here for about 8 to 10 cycles of breath. And then notice if any tension found its way into the face once again, and see if you can soften. Let go of the effort that is not necessary and actually more burdensome. And then let's take another breath in, lengthening up, push the floor away. Breath out, drawing the belly towards the spine. Beginning to move in more obvious ways. So as you inhale, sweep those arms wide and all the way overhead. Your eyes can open and maybe gaze up. And then as you exhale, arms wide and all the way down. And maybe your gaze lowers. And again, inhale as we lift those arms, reach, lengthen that side body. Exhale and lower those arms, lower gaze. One more time, just like that, reaching those arms up, inhale. And then lowering those arms down as you exhale. This time, bring them behind you. See if you can interlace those fingers and then send those knuckles down. Open up the chest. Feel the shoulder blades come a bit closer. And we're just going to move the neck here. Take a full breath in. On your exhale, lower the chin to your chest. Breathe in. And then send your right ear towards your right shoulder. Breathe in. And then bring the chin back to your chest. Breath in, and then left ear, left shoulder. Move like this a few more times. These half circles with your neck. Taking your time. making sure that you're breathing throughout. And then the next time that your chin comes to your chest, pause for a moment. Take an inhale. Take an exhale. Keep drawing those shoulder blades towards one another. And then with your next inhale, lift your gaze, release your hands, reach them all the way up towards the ceiling. And then as you exhale, left arm down, side stretch. If you're on the ground, push the floor away with your bottom hand. Push your right ribs towards the right side. Inhale, bring yourself back through center. And this time we're going to go into a twist towards the right hand behind us. Left hand crosses over. Gentle here. Breathe in and breathe out. Inhale, bring yourself back through center, lengthening up. And then right hand is going to lower by your side, side stretch. Your torso still facing forward. If you're on the ground, a push through that bottom hand, left ribs go towards the left. As you inhale, returning through center. And then on your exhale, finding your twist towards the left side, left hand behind you, right hand crosses over. Gentle twist, does not have to be dramatic, early in practice. There'll be plenty of time to take it further if you need. And then as you inhale, returning through center, reaching your arms overhead. And on your exhale, lower those hands in front of you and walk those fingers forward, trying to keep your sit bones well planted. Any amount of forward folding that is available. You can make it a bit more active, reaching through those fingers. Maybe your palms are lifted, or a bit more passive, let your arms drop towards the ground. Let's take 3 cycles of breath. And make that breath obvious so that you feel the difference between your inhales and your exhales, and not only in the mind, like intellectually, but feel it in your body. 1 more breath. And then walk those fingers back towards you, lifting that spine. And then if you were sitting cross-legged or any like asymmetrical seat, switch those legs, bring the opposite leg on top or in front. Then find again those sit bones well planted. Your hands are going to be resting on your knees. And then as you inhale, let's come into a cow pose. So think about shoulder blades drawing towards one another and chest coming forward. So you're kind of holding onto your knees and pulling on them. Elbows are drawing back. And then as you exhale, round your spine. So you're moving away from your knees, your elbows extend, chin towards your chest. And move like that a few more times. Inhale as you come forward. Feel those shoulder blades draw towards each other. Exhale and round. Feel the shoulder blades, the back ribs expand. And then again, inhale, coming forward. Maybe you're lifting the gaze, so you're finding some stretch through the throat. And then exhale, round. Chin to chest, some space in the back of your neck. 1 more time, just like that. Inhale. And exhale, and round. And now as you inhale, let's find that neutral spine. Reach your arms all the way up towards the ceiling. And on your exhale, finding a twist, right hand behind us, left hand crosses over. So see if you can use your back hand as a kickstand. So get it close to your spine if you can, and then push through those fingers, through the right fingers. Push into the floor. See if you can lengthen a bit more, tall, lengthwise, up through the top of the head. And then give a pull through your left hand, and then resist. So push your left knee or your right thigh, or right knee into that hand. Breath in and breath out. And then as you inhale, returning through center, reaching those arms up. And as you exhale, let's find the same thing on the other side. Left hand behind you, right hand crosses over. And then again, locate that left hand, push into the floor or into your chair if you're using a chair. And then use that arm to lengthen that spine up. So again, your kickstand. And then your right hand is going to pull on that left thigh or knee. And then your knee, your thigh is going to push back into that hand. Breath in and breath out. As you inhale, returning through center, reaching those arms up, interlace your fingers and bring the hands to the back of the head. Bend your elbows and now open your elbows wide, lift your gaze, let your head rest into those hands. And then on your exhale, elbows come forward and find rounding through your spine. You might start with just a bit of rounding through upper back and neck. And then as you inhale, open again. You're going into that extension of spine, that cow pose. Exhale, it's like your cat pose, elbows towards one another. Maybe there's a bit more rounding down the spine. And then again, open up on your inhale. And round as you exhale. And then with your next inhale, we're going to lift, free those arms, reach them all the way towards the ceiling. And on your exhale, lower those hands in front of you. And once again, forward fold. Any amount of forward fold that is available. Maybe you find that you can go a little further now after a few minutes of practice. Breath in and breath out. And now we're going to all make it a forward fold that is a bit more active. So make sure you've got your fingers on a surface, so on the floor, or if you've got a block, you're sitting on a chair on the block. And then lift your palms, you're just pressing through your fingertips. Lift your elbows and then push through those fingers and then push your sit bones down also. See if you can feel a bit more action through that upper body. And then if your feet are on a surface, push through your feet. Breath in and breath out, drawing belly to spine on the exhales. One more, breath in and breath out. And then with your next inhale, those hands walk back towards you, lifting that spine. Let's reach those arms all the way overhead and side stretch. Left arm down, reaching up and over with your right. Inhale, bring yourself back through center. And exhale, take it over to the other side. Inhale, back through center. And now on your exhale, we're coming into a table pose. So hands plant and see if you can roll onto your knees. Send your feet back behind you. And just take a moment to get your alignment going. Those hands under those shoulders, those knees under those hips. And then as you find your table pose, begin to move between our usual cows and cats. So lowering the belly, lifting that chest as you breathe in, and then rounding that spine, lifting that back body towards the space or towards the ceiling as you breathe out. And then make it about the whole spine. Think about that line between crown of the head and tailbone, arching as you breathe in and rounding as you breathe out. Let's do one more. And then with your next inhale, we'll meet in a neutral spine. That left leg is going to rise behind us. And then bend that knee and find some circles with your left hip. Rotation through that hip in one direction. And then let's switch direction. And then let's switch again. And then last time, switch. And then with your next inhale, straighten that leg all the way out behind you. Really push through the sole of the foot or the ball of the foot. And then as you exhale, lower the ball of the foot to the ground. So you're flexing through that left ankle. Your heel is pushing back, but your toes are pointing forward. We're going to do some cows and cats here. Okay, so see if you can keep that leg extended, and as you inhale, drop the belly, bring the chest forward, lift the gaze. Notice there's a bit more limited mobility in that lower back. And then as you exhale, round, draw the chin towards your chest. And then again, inhale, coming more into that cow. Exhale and rounding. And now the option of adding something else. So come into cow on your inhale. And then as you exhale and round, see if you can float your right knee off the mat. And then lower that knee again, come into your cow, inhale. Exhale, round, lift that right knee towards your chest. Lower the knee, inhale, cow. Last one, exhale, knee towards the chest, rounding that spine. Push the floor away with your hands, take another breath in. And then on your exhale, lower that right knee. Inhale, left foot rises. And as you exhale, knee to chest, rounding spine. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale again, knee to chest, round. Maybe add a little cow here as you inhale and lengthen. Lift your gaze, maybe lift the leg up towards the ceiling. And then exhale again, round the spine. Last one, just like that. Lift, inhale. And round, exhale. Now as you inhale, leg lengthens all the way out. And on your exhale, return to your table pose. Switching sides, as you are ready, right leg will rise. And then bend that knee and find your hip rotations on this side. And then switching direction. Stay with that breath. And then let's switch again. And last time, switch. After this rotation, really extend, lengthen out on the inhale, reach, 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 make space in the hip flexor. And then as you exhale, lower the ball of that right foot. The heel is pushing back, strong right leg, draw belly towards your spine. Okay. Take a moment here, getting that stretch through the back of the right leg. And then we'll find again those cows and cats. Okay, so don't make your cow be as intense or as extreme as when you're on all fours. So let it be a bit more gentle. So as you inhale, draw chest forward, lift your gaze. As you exhale, round the spine. And then again, inhale. Exhale. Notice as you round, you draw the belly towards the spine. Inhale. Now on your exhale, as you round, option, lifting that left knee off the mat, push the floor away. And then lower that left knee again, come into that cow. Exhale, lift the knee round, maybe even knee to nose. Drop the knee. Inhale, cow. Exhale, draw the knee in, and now pause here. You're in this more rounded place, strong through the legs and the arms, breath in. On your exhale, lowering that knee. Right leg rises, inhale. Exhale, knee to chest, rounding spine. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale again, round knee to chest. Inhale, lengthen, maybe a bit of a back bend, so lifting that right leg up, lifting the gaze. Exhale, rounding. One more time, just like that. Inhale. And exhale and round. Nice job. Lengthen on your inhale and then lowering that right knee down. Exhale. Okay, so from here, let's take it all the way into a child's pose. See if you can keep your knees more or less hip width or just enough space to fit kind of some of that belly and that torso. But allow the spine to round over your thigh. So rather than kind of like a flat neutral spine in your child's pose, make it a bit more of a rounded spine. So sit bones towards heels, chest towards your thighs, and then bend your elbows and hold opposite elbows in front of you. Maybe your forehead can rest on your forearms. Maybe you've got a block or a pillow, and you could rest the forehead there. So let's take about 5 breaths and take an inhale and feel some space, some stretch in the back ribs. Some space, some stretch in that upper back. Maybe also you can feel some space in the back of your neck. And maybe also some space in that lower back, sacrum area. Another inhale. And another exhale. From this child's pose, hands come back out in front of you, plant them, and we're coming all the way into downward facing dog, tucking those toes and then lifting those hips up and back. Allow the head to hang if that's comfortable, and we're going to take a breath in. And then on the exhale, look under your right armpit. And then bring the gaze back through center, so looking at your toes, and then look under your left armpit. And then back through center. Do it one more time. Do it with intention, looking towards the right. And back through center. And then looking towards the left. And then pausing back through center, drawing the chin a little closer to the chest, so you might now be looking at your knees. Take a full breath in. And take a full breath out. With your next inhale, walk your feet towards your hands. And as you exhale, find a forward fold. Top of the mat, just taking a few moments, maybe holding opposite elbows. And maybe here's a good opportunity to feel your feet on the ground, wiggle those toes. Send a bit of weight forward, send a bit of weight back. Send weight into the pinky toe side, weight to the base of your big toe. Even out the weight on both feet and the whole sole of the feet. Take another breath. And then here, with a bend in those knees, with the hands to the hips, chin to chest, we're going to unroll the spine and make our way up to stand. We're going to meet in mountain pose, those arms down by your side. The gaze is forward, taking just a moment to feel the body in this standing position. We've been kind of on the ground for the beginning of practice. Take another inhale, lengthen up. And another exhale. With your next breath in, arms sweep up. And then as you breathe out, left arm down, side stretch. Coming back through center, inhale. And then taking it over to the other side, exhale. Back through center, inhale. On your exhale, hands behind you, interlace them at your lower back. Straighten out those elbows, squeeze the shoulder blades towards one another, open up the chest. Breath in. On your exhale, we're folding forward, so we're bending those knees. Hands can stay at the lower back as you fold. Drop the head, and then maybe those arms lift up towards the ceiling. Keep a slight bend in those knees. Breath in. Breath out. With your next inhale, release those hands, halfway lift. And as you exhale, plant your hands and step your left foot all the way to the back of your mat. So here, a good idea would be to have hands on blocks. If you don't have blocks available, instead of doing a lunge with the foot between your hands, you could do a lunge with the foot to the outside of that right hand. Okay, so you have your hands on the inside, and that would allow your hands to be a bit more planted, but don't take your foot too far out. Okay. We're going to stay with that back knee lifted, keep pushing through that back foot, bend into that right knee, and then as you inhale, drop the hips, lift the chest. So you're coming into a bit of a back bend again, into that cow idea with your spine. And then as you exhale, with straightening that front leg any amount that is available, and then think about your nose going towards your knee, so a rounded spine. Okay, again, it's kind of again that cow and cat, but from your lunge. Inhale, coming into your cow pose, open chest, draw shoulder blades towards one another, lift the gaze. Exhale, find that rounding as you extend your front knee. Find that nose going towards the knee. And again, inhale. And exhale. And let's do one more. Inhale, coming forward. And exhale, moving back. Now as you inhale, bend into that front knee, lower the back knee down. Keep your left hand down on your mat. And then see if you can bring your right hand to your right thigh first. Begin to find a twist. You're pushing your right hand into that thigh. You're helping the belly button turn towards the right. And then if you can keep the belly button turned, send your right arm towards the ceiling. Breath in. And breath out. And now with your arm lifted, make a fist with that right hand and begin to rotate your wrist, finding some circles. So using this for a bit of a counter pose for the wrist after the table poses, these lunges. Switch direction. And then pause with those circles, spread those fingers out, take another breath in, see if you can reach a bit taller. And then as you exhale, lower that right hand down. We're coming all the way into half splits. Okay, so we're going to straighten that front leg, send your hips back, but this time your hands are going to walk back towards your hips. Okay, alignment that you're looking for here is your left knee more or less under your left hip. And then your right leg is extended, your right knee doesn't have to be straight, so a little bend there is fine. But see if you can draw your toes towards your shin and press down through that right heel. Your hands more or less under your shoulders. Blocks here is a good idea too. And we're going to find those cows and cats right here. Okay? So you'll notice that when you find your cow in this position, your right hamstring will talk to you a little bit more. Okay, so see if you can notice that. So as you inhale, think about chest coming forward, gaze lifting, tailbone and sit bones lifting. And then as you exhale, round your spine, think about chin to chest, maybe even nose towards that right knee. And then again, inhale into that cow. There you go. Hamstring says hi. Exhale and round. Okay. And that this time we're trying to keep that right leg stable. So we're not changing the legs as we go into these cows and cats. And round. And one more just like that. Inhale. And exhale to round. Nice job. And then from here, let's bend again into that right knee, coming forward with those hips. Frame that front foot, tuck the back toes, lift that back knee, you're back into your lunge. And then we're going to step forward. So it might be one step, it might be a few. Make them intentional, so not kind of stumbling. See if you can bring weight into that front foot, into your hands, lift that back foot, and then step it forward, coming into a forward fold. Take a moment here, breath in, mouth open, exhale. And then as you inhale, halfway lift, hands to shins, lengthen spine forward, sit bones back, exhale and fold. Two more, just like that. Use these half lifts to find that neutral spine once again. Folding on the exhale. And one more, halfway lift, inhale. And fold forward, exhale. Nice job. Bring hands to your hips. Nice bend in those knees. Chin to chest. Unroll the spine. Coming all the way up to stand. Mountain pose. Arms by your side. Draw that lower belly up and in. Squeeze through the glutes. Grow a little taller. Push the floor away. As you inhale, reach your arms up. On your exhale, right arm down, side stretch. Back through center, inhale. Take it to the other side, exhale. Back through center, inhale. Hands behind you, find that interlace, maybe the opposite interlace. Send those knuckles down, open up the chest, feel the shoulder blades come close together, crown of the head tall. And then on the exhale, a bend in those knees, we're folding all the way down. Once you're down, the head is dangling. Maybe those arms lift up towards the ceiling. If it's available for the shoulders, those arms might drop a bit overhead. Breathe in and breathe out. Releasing those hands on the inhale, halfway lift, lengthening the spine. And then as you exhale, planting your hands on your blocks, on the floor. And now it's your right foot that's going to step all the way to the back of your mat. So you're coming into that lunge once again. And again, the option of having your hands on the inside of that front foot, if that makes it a bit more comfortable, gives you a bit more space. We're going to go forward and back just like we did before. So it's kind of like that cow and cat with your spine. So as you inhale, chest forward, gaze up. You'll notice that you'll have to bring your hips forward and down as well. And then as you exhale, you're straightening through that front leg. But think about that rounded spine, nose towards the knee. And then again, moving like that a couple more times, coming forward, feel those shoulder blades come close together. Exhale, rounding, more space in the back ribs. One more, just like that. Inhale and exhale. And then with your next inhale, coming forward, we're going to lower that back knee down. And then we're going to keep that right hand on the mat or on the block. Left hand is going to come to the thigh, left thigh. And then push into that thigh. Use that arm as leverage to turn your belly button to any amount towards the left. So you've got your twist going on, and you might stay here. But if you can keep that twist, send your left arm towards the ceiling. So to keep your twist, you've got to engage through those abdominal muscles. Try not to collapse into your right arm. Push the float away through that right hand. And then let's find those wrist rotations through the top hand. So make a fist and then rotate in one direction. And then switch. And then pause, extend those fingers, palms spacious, stretch for the whole hand, reach. And then as you exhale, lower that left hand down, coming all the way into half splits on this side. So we're going to send those hips back and we're straightening that left leg. This time we're walking the hands back towards us so that we can first find that neutral spine. And again, that alignment here that you're looking for is that right knee more or less under that right hip. And your hips are going to be in line, so don't let your left hip go forward. Okay, draw that left hip back. And again, hands on blocks if that's available, have them here. And now we're looking for that movement through the spine. So see if you can feel that awakening of the stretch in the left hamstring as you come into cow pose, right? So belly drops towards your thigh, chest moves forward, gaze goes up, but mostly that tailbone kind of goes up towards the ceiling, that sit bone also. And then as you exhale, round your spine. So some of that extra stretch goes away. Okay? And then again, inhale into that cow. Exhale into that rounding. And take it to you, your place, right? Some sensation, not too much. And let's do one more, just like that. Breath in and breath out. And then from here, neutral spine, bending again into that left knee, bringing those hips forward, framing that front foot, tucking the back toes, lifting that back knee, and then we're going to step forward. Again, if you need to shorten your stance a bit, do so. Find a bit of lift through your hips, bring weight into that front foot, and then see if you can lighten up on the back foot and step it to meet the left. Finding a forward fold, and then as you inhale, half lift, neutral spine, reach the crown of the head forward. Exhale and fold, dropping the head. 2 more times. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. And last one. Inhale. and fold forward. Exhale. Nice job. From here, bending into those knees, hands to your hips, unrolling the spine, rising your way into mountain pose, arms by your side, palms are facing forward. Take a moment, grow a little taller, push the floor away, breath in, and breath out. With your next inhale, reach your arms overhead. This time, right hand is going to wrap around the left wrist, and we're going to pull that left wrist up and over. Right here, we're not doing any arching or rounding through that spine, so it's all about this lateral stretch, lateral flexion. Inhale, back through center, switch those hands, left hand around right wrist, pull, and then take it over. So you should still keep your shoulders more or less on the same plane as you do this. Inhale, bring yourself back through center, and then arms wide, and we're folding all the way down. Exhale. Halfway lift, inhale, and folding forward. Exhale. Pause here in this forward fold. If it's available, arms can come behind your legs. A bend in your knees, perfectly fine. Breath in. And breath out. Once again, let's look from side to side. So relaxing the neck. And then bring that head back through center. And then once again, we are rising up with a nice bend in those knees. This time your arms might hang, but slowly unrolling that spine all the way up. From your mountain pose, we're going to find a couple standing movements, and we'll add some extension and flexion to the spine. So as you inhale, reach your arms up. On your exhale, your left foot is going to step back, and we're coming into warrior one. So this is going to be your stance, your legs. So make sure that you've made that stance stable, because then we're going to move that torso. With your next inhale, arms open out into a T. And as you exhale, your right arm is coming under your left. So you're crossing at your elbows, 2 versions or 3 versions of your eagle arms, hands to shoulders, forearms lifted, palms maybe touching. Whatever you choose here, keep your elbows crossed. So there's a stretch through that upper back. And then we're going to inhale into cow through that spine. So it's not about those elbows just lifting, it's about that spine extension, right? So chest lifts too. Make sure that you're stable through your legs. And then as you exhale, we're flexing. So elbows are going to end up drawing in towards the belly, but it's mostly about the rounding through the spine. Okay? So let's move like that 2 more times. Inhale, find that lift. Imagine a string pulling the chest up. Exhale, and that rounding. Draw the belly towards your spine as you round. Nice job. 1 more, just like that, strong through the legs. Inhale and lift. And exhale and round. And now with your next inhale, lift, unwind your arms, reaching them all the way up. And then right hand around left wrist. And we're going to pull that left wrist, just like we did in the standing position. We're going to pull it over towards the right. See if you can feel that stretch through the left side of the body, going also through that left hip and even front of that left hip. Strong through the legs, breathe in. And breathe out. And then as you inhale, come back through center, release those hands, and we're going to step forward. Bring weight into that front foot, front leg, and step that back foot forward. Plant and hands to heart in your mountain pose. Full inhale and full exhale. And taking all of this to the other side. As you're ready, reach your arms up. Inhale. Finding a side stretch first. Exhale. Back through center. Inhale. Other side. Exhale. back through center. Inhale, now it's your right foot that is stepping back, and find your warrior one stance. And taking your time to set your base here. Draw belly to spine, engage through those glutes, especially that right glute. Okay? And then press down through that back foot. When you're ready, those arms open out into a T as you inhale. And then on your exhale, it's your left arm that's coming under the right. Try to stack elbow over elbow. No problem staying here with your hands at your shoulders, at your upper arms, right? If you lose the stacking of the elbows, you're going to lose the stretch through that upper back. If it's available, forearms lift. If it's available, palms touch. Okay. Keeping your elbows in line with your shoulders or a little higher. And then if your forearms are lifted, send them away from your face. And then we'll find those cows and cats here too. Okay, so again, steady with those legs and your gaze. When you're ready, inhale, open chest. Find that spine extension. Exhale, round. So spine flexion. And again, inhale with your breath. Exhale. So this one is not only, well, all the poses involve more than one thing, right? So this is also kind of quite a balance test. And then the next time that you find that lifted position, unwind those arms, reach them all the way up towards the ceiling. And this time your left hand is going to wrap around your right wrist. And we're going to get that stretch through the right side. So pull that wrist up and then some towards the left. Don't take it too far that the whole body goes over to the left. So make sure that you're really strong through that right leg, right foot. Breath in. And breath out. One more, just like that. Inhale. And exhale. Bringing yourself back through center on the inhale, release the wrist, reaching your fingers up. And then as you exhale, we're stepping forward. So take that weight into the front foot and send that back foot forward. Plant and hands come back to your heart. Breath in and breath out. With your next inhale, those arms lift. And as you exhale, forward fold. Inhale into a halfway lift. And exhale, planting your hands downward facing dog. And this time make your down dog just a bit shorter, so your feet are a little closer to your hands. And then bring your feet wide as your mat. Shoulder width or wider than shoulder width, actually. And notice if you can bring your heels all the way down to the mat. So a little bend in your knees is fine. And then send your sit bones a bit higher up. Let your head dangle between your arms. Maybe look from side to side. Really press those hands. Press the floor away through your hands. Take a breath in. And take a breath out. So after all those cows and cats, all that movement through the spine, see if this down dog, this wider leg down dog, can be or can serve as a neutral spine posture, okay? As a lengthening posture for the spine. So that tailbone is reaching away from the top of the head. Take another inhale and another exhale. Last one, just like that. Breath in and breath out. And then walking those hands towards your feet. Finding a wide leg forward fold, holding onto opposite elbows. Allow the head to drop. Breathe in and breathe out. And from here, we're going to go into a squat. We're going to just play around with it. So if you have your block, it would be a good idea to have a block in front of you. You can rest your hands on it. If you know that coming into a squat is fine for you and your hands are down on the floor, then go ahead. If you need a chair in front of you to hold on to, that might be also a good idea. But your heels come in, your toes are pointing out, kind of 45 degrees or so. And then we're going to bend those knees. And as you bend your knees, you want your knees to go in the direction of your toes. Okay. And then you're lowering those sit bones. And let's do a few lifting and lowering with hands on the mat, with hands on your chair or on the block, or if it's available, with hands lifted at your chest. So you're thinking about lifting those sit bones, lowering, bending, and straightening those knees. Okay. Knees are wide, and you're trying to press a bit more through the pinky toe side of your feet. Okay, so don't let your knees cave or fall in. And then the next time you find yourself more in a squat position, pause there for a moment. You could sway a little bit from side to side. That might feel good. Notice that your heels might not be on the ground. So depending on ankle flexibility, heels might be lifted. Okay, and that's fine. That means a little bit more balance play here. But you could also roll the mat and plant something underneath your heels, or the mat or something else, or a blanket. And then your heels will be supported. Okay, let's take 2 more breaths right here, whatever squat you have. It's funny how some of us are really comfortable in squats, and for some of us it's like the worst nightmare. But whatever, we breathe, we test things out, and whatever it is, it is. 1 more breath. And then with your next inhale, if your hands were lifted, plant them, support those hips as you lift them up, and then bring those feet back to hip width, and we're going to find a forward fold. Let your torso drop towards your legs, let your arms dangle, maybe holding opposite elbows. And now after that opening through the hips, encourage a bit more of a closed hip. So inner thighs are rotating in. And if you're thinking about that rotation, it's like your inner thighs are moving towards the space behind you. Take another inhale. And take another exhale. And now keep this inner thigh rotation as you come out into a plank pose. So walking those hands all the way to the top of your mat. Those inner thighs now are rotating towards the ceiling. Okay? Press through your heels, push the floor away through your hands. Take a full breath in. Take a full breath out. See if you can hold it for another inhale. Strong legs, inner thighs are still moving towards the ceiling. And then with your next exhale, let's all lower those knees to the mat. And we're going to come into a seat. So send your feet to one side and see if you can plant your sit bones behind you. And then free those feet to come forward. Fantastic job. So feet to the outer edges of the mat. The knees are going to be bent. Little cow and cat here too. So hands to your shins. Allow your chest to come forward between your legs. Your gaze lifts. And then as you exhale, let yourself round. Push that back body back. If it's available and comfortable, rock on your sit bones a bit. So as you inhale and come into your cow, come onto the tips of your sit bones. And then as you exhale and roll back into cat, see if you can roll onto that sacrum some. Only if it's comfortable. And then again, inhale, coming forward. And exhale, rocking back. Last one. Inhale, forward. And exhale, and back. And then with your next inhale, neutral spine. We're going to walk those feet back to hip width. And then let's make our way down onto the mat. Those arms can come in front of you. Take a full breath in. Exhale, see if you can come halfway. Neutral spine, shoulder blades down. Inhale, open chest. And then on your exhale, rounding. Lower back, mid back, upper back, and head. Whole back body on the mat, and then let's bring those knees into the chest and rock side to side. And then the next time you come through center, coming into a happy baby, knees are going to go wide towards the armpits. Your heels can stay heavy towards your glutes. First, get your whole back body onto the mat, or as much of that back body as is available. So think about spreading that sacrum, that lower back, back ribs, upper back, shoulder blades. Press those shoulder blades down. Then lengthen the back of your neck, chin towards the chest. Crown of the head reaches back. And then with that whole back body on the mat, you might explore a little bit more your happy baby. So maybe those feet lift towards the ceiling. Your hands come to the backs of your knees. Keep drawing those knees wide and down. Your feet are flexed as if you were trying to push the soles of the feet towards the ceiling. Maybe staying here or walking those hands up towards your ankle or shins. Maybe staying here or hands come to the soles of the feet. But again, you want to keep that back body down on the mat. Okay, so if walking your hands up towards your feet makes your shoulder blades lift or your sacrum lift, stay with your hands lower. Breath in and breath out. One more, just like that. And then releasing this happy baby, we're going to keep those knees wide and then plant your feet wide, outer edges of your mat. Okay. Your knees are going to stay wide too for now. And then let's see if we can go into a bridge pose with these feet and knees wide. Okay, so arms are coming by your side. Your heels are relatively close to your sit bones, so you might even be able to touch your heels with your fingers. And then with your next inhale, lift your hips, keeping your knees wide. Engage through the glutes. Pause here. Keep your knees drawing wide. Breathe in. And breathe out. If you aren't already, begin to use your arms a bit more. So push into the floor with those arms. Take another breath in. And take another breath out. Last one. Inhale. And then as you exhale, keeping those knees wide, slowly lower those hips back to the mat. Now let your knees rest against one another. Maybe the big toes come in slightly, the heels slightly out. Pause, breath in. And breath out. And then opening those arms out into a T, take a full breath in. And then lower your knees to the left. So there should be space between those feet so that your right knee can drop towards the floor. And then walk your right arm by your ear. So it's resting on the ground, but it's reaching behind you. And if reaching behind you is too stressful for the shoulder, have it at a diagonal or bend your elbow. Think about length through the right side of the body. And take about 3 to 5 breaths. And then as you're ready, that right arm comes out once again into a T. Those knees come back through center, so feet are still wide. Let the knees touch. And then let's take it all the way to the other side. Knees drop towards the right. And again, there should be space for that left knee to drop towards the floor. It doesn't have to come to the floor, but it's going in that direction. And it's not being limited or stopped by your right leg. And then maybe that left arm reaches overhead or anything in between so that you can emphasize that stretch, that space through the left side of the body. And then pausing here, using your breath to explore that space, any sensations that come along with it. And then maybe not only just physical sensations, but just noticing where the mind is at, where you are in terms of ease, where you're at in terms of any emotions. And they don't have to be anything dramatic, just subtle, underlying. And when all of that gets too complicated, come back to the simplicity of your breath in and your breath out. And then as you're ready, coming back, that left arm comes out, those knees come back through center, take them, let them rest against one another for a moment and bring hands to your belly. Notice again the spine, see if you can get that lower back a bit closer to the ground, see if you can lengthen once again through the top of your head. And then let's take a deeper breath in, feel the belly expand into your hands. And then a longer breath out, draw the belly away from your hands. And just taking a couple more breaths here. And then whenever you're ready, finding the most comfortable position for your body. We've got maybe a couple minutes to end practice. So finding some stillness and some rest. And that doesn't mean easy, right? This could be the most challenging part of practice. We still do it, we still try. So as best you can, allow the body to soften. You may be taking just a quick scan of that body, checking in different areas and noticing if you find pockets of tension or effort. Maybe you can release them. And if the mind got busy thinking about the next thing, come back to noticing your breath, noticing sensations in that physical body. Maybe checking in with the muscles around the eyes and softening those. Maybe checking in with your jaw and finding also some softness there. And then as always, if you've got the time and you wish to stay for a bit longer, feel free to do just that. If you're ready to move on, try to bring with you some of this softness and some of this ease or intention for ease with you. So as you begin to move and breathe a bit more intentionally, just invest the amount of effort necessary. So without overdoing it. Begin to wiggle your fingers and wiggle toes, and then move your ankles and your wrists. Maybe your neck moves too. Maybe you take a swallow. And if you're on your back, you can roll onto one side. And before you rise up, give yourself a breath in. And maybe even a mouth open exhale. And then we'll meet in a comfortable seat, ending practice together. Taking just a moment here, your hands could come to your heart. And just acknowledging the practice itself. Acknowledging ourselves for practicing today. Acknowledging all those who have practiced with us. And then all those who make it possible. And we'll end with a word that means that the light in me recognizes and honors the light in you. Namaste.